Welcome, everybody. Hello, John Aravosis here, June 4th. Hey, all. How are you guys doing? I'm back. Nice day with not too much sunlight coming in, which is making me happy. I'm going to adjust my lighting. Lighting's okay, I think. Yeah. I'm trying to get it down a little because it's so bright in my eyes. Anyway, welcome, everybody. Let me get TikTok rolling, and we can get the show rolling because I've got to end on time tonight. Let me get this here, which we never do. All right, let's see if that, I don't even know if that mirrored or not. Now I don't know whether I've got it the wrong way. Let me try my map for TikTok. Oh, that's the right way. Okay, good. That's the right way. Excellent. Excellent. All right, wait for everybody. Hey, TikTokers. We're waiting for the YouTubers to join us. Hey, y'all. My water. My kingdom for water. Anyway, welcome, everybody. TikTokers, YouTubers. Hello, all. How are we all doing tonight? What is today? Tuesday, June 4th, 2 days before D-Day or D-Day celebrations. Hey guys, hey TikTokers, hey Yvonne. Mom is doing well. Thank you for asking. Thanks, Bobster. Yep, I got sort of a short haircut, but I'm enjoying it. I was worried. Person cutting it wanted to go shorter. I was like, no. Thank you, John, for the gift. But it's good. Yeah, I like my haircut. Thank you, Alan. Oh, anyway, welcome all. So I'm going to try to keep the show to an hour tonight. Thank you, Jane, because I've got to go on local DC news, the nightly news. Thank you, Marie. Thank you, Jeremy. We got a serial package thief thrown in jail for like 7 years that a bunch of us managed to pull off. This guy was breaking into it was really kind of scary, actually, breaking into buildings and stuff late at night, just scary stuff, and some violent crimes too. But anyway, we all got together, identified him with all of our videos, put pressure on the police and the U.S. attorney, and got the guy 7.5 years in prison. So, anyway, DC's got a lot of crime. And they never prosecute. So this was a huge deal. So anyway, local news is going to be interviewing me at 7:30 to talk about it. Keep the TikTok running on the side. I don't know what that means. Hey, Kevin, thank you for that. Anyway, guys, so welcome. Yeah, so I'm going to try to keep the show ending around 7 o'clock. Because I got to do a local interview for DC News. Now, I was saying we had a serial package thief, and it's worse than it sounds. I mean, this guy was stalking women in our building, tried to sneak in with them, really creepy stuff, came at 11 o'clock at night, and snuck into the building and then kept going up and down the elevator, carrying package upstairs on the roof, opening that. I mean, it was really creepy, and he has a violent history as well. So a bunch of us identified him, and he's been sentenced to 7.5 years in prison. So things to succeed. So I got to go do that at 7:30. I'm going on the local, I think it's Fox, probably the local Fox channel. So it is the job of the police, but unfortunately in DC, you got to put a little pressure on people, especially when, something short of murder, they don't necessarily prosecute. So we raised a lot of hell. And what do you know? This guy got arrested. All the package thefts stopped. All of them stopped when we got this guy arrested, which is very interesting because it kind of makes you wonder, right? What was going on if none of the other people are going after us after we got him. Either it sent the message or he was coordinating the entire thing. So in any case, enough of that, but that means I'm going to try to end a little bit after 7 so I can sort of walk over to where they're going to be filming. Anyway, so welcome all. My video I did yesterday. I mentioned yesterday that Ava Wahlberg, who's one of our wonderful people here, probably with us tonight from Sweden, sent me a 5-pound, almost 2 kilo bag. Thank you, World is my oyster. 2 kilo bag of candy from Sweden. So I did. There's Ava right there. So I did a video yesterday that's very funny. It's been taking off in Sweden. We've got almost 70,000 views on TikTok of me taste testing Swedish candy. It is 6 o'clock Eastern time, US here. Sweden's a lot later, but the video's kind of taking off. So I did a second video today. I will say, I am more of a chocolate guy. I'm not sure how many more videos I'm going to do of these sweets that aren't chocolate because I had 3 of them and I was kind of like, sugar. I was like a little kid having too much sugar. Even right now, I'm kind of like, oh my God, I love sugar. It was a lot of sugar. So the next few videos might be, I'm going to try the chocolate licorice, which everyone wants me to try, which I think is going to be a disaster because I am not a chocolate licorice guy, but I'm going to try. Exactly. The salted licorice, as Ash is saying. The chocolate there's a mix of them. There's a 70% or 71% dark chocolate, which I'm very excited about. There's some very nice milk chocolate as well. So there's a lot of good stuff. Yeah. Some of it is at IKEA, yes, because Anna, because somebody recognized some of the candy I was showing, and they said, "Oh, IKEA sells that." So I'm very excited. But the next couple videos might be chocolate and not the sweets, because the sweets were so sweet. And like I said, I just lost 6 pounds, and Eva's trying to get me fat again. I am not gaining the weight back. I'm not. Maybe I'll do like one video a week. We'll see. Anyway, see, my mom likes sweets. I wish I was back in Chicago. Maybe I'll mail her some, because she likes like this. She's Greek, so she likes the candy sweet. Like I like chocolates. Mom, being Greek, likes, gummy bears, jujubes, jelly beans, right? Like sweets. I don't know what you call those, like sugary sweets, which to me is more of a European sweet. Thank you, Ellie, or old world maybe. Yes. Anyway, baklava. I mean, I'm not a big Greek dessert fan. I make it. Baklava's okay. I like American rich, gooey, chocolatey. Like that's my. Thank you, Ava. That's my dessert. I've got a great recipe for cheesecake, Sobo. Oh my God, I've got my mom's like New York cheesecake recipe that's to die for. I mean, rich, Philadelphia cream cheese, sour cream, eggs. Oh my God, rich. I put a little bit of lemon in. Mom does not, but because we like lemon, and cheesecake already has a little bit of a lemony flavor, you put a little bit of fresh lemon in. Oh my God. Okay, sorry, we're talking too long about food, and I said I've got to end the show a little after 7 tonight, so let's get to the news. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to do. I won't be able to finish on time. All right, guys. So today is day 831 of Vladimir Putin's special 3-day military operation. Please do like the show. Hit the like button. Thank you, Big Hawk. Hit the up arrow on TikTok, on YouTube. Tap the screen on TikTok. We think it makes a difference for the algorithm, like the big computer in the sky. We think it maybe tells them, thank you, Big Hawk, for the gift, tells them to send it to more people. Who knows? It's worth a try. And please do keep the gifts coming. Your gifts pay my bills. So thank you, guys. Thank you, Doughboy. I really appreciate it. All right, let's get rolling. So Biden did something kind of obnoxious today. Biden did an interview with Time Magazine in which he said basically he opposes Ukraine joining NATO as part of a peace deal with Russia. Now, what was confusing in the interview was whether Biden was saying like never or what. It wasn't clear, but he's saying absolutely not Ukraine joining NATO as part of a peace deal with Russia. The problem is, okay, look, politically speaking, right, you got to get by Hungary. Slovakia could be a pain in the ass. Turkey could be a pain in the ass because Turkey likes to be a pain in the ass. But Hungary certainly, I mean, would stop Ukraine because Hungary literally works for the Russians. So if Hungary is still a member of NATO at that point, they would block it. But the problem with Biden saying that he would not accept, Sweden, Ukraine joining NATO as part of a peace deal with Russia is the Russians are going to attack again. Putin made clear at the beginning of the war that he does not believe Ukraine's an independent country. He believes that the Ukrainians, and actually this is something not just from them. You got to tell me what flag that is, Mick Mouzis. I am terrible at European flags. I only know a few of them. You guys know them all. Which flag is that? I see you say this flag close to Sweden, but that's not. Oh, is that one of the Baltic? Is that Pole? Oh, Pole. It's red and white. Okay, sorry. Red and white, I should know. That's Poland. Yeah. Okay. Although with your name, Mick Mouzis, did not look like a very Polish name. That looks like Poland. So, here's the thing. With Biden saying that he doesn't want Ukraine to join NATO, at least as part of a deal with a peace deal with Russia, the Russians are going to attack again. This is what they did before. The Russians attacked in 2014. They stole Crimea and southern Ukraine. They then came back in 2020. I mean, they never left, but they came back and reinvaded big time in 2022. They, thank you, Poppy. Thank you, Jen. They reinvaded 2022, took eastern Ukraine, right? They ended up taking like 36% of the country. The Ukrainians kicked half of it out. So the Ukrainians kicked the Russians out of half of what the Russians were occupying. Thank you, Simon. And now the Russians occupy about 18% of Ukraine. The problem is Putin has said he doesn't think Ukraine is a real country. He thinks the Ukrainians, thank you, Simon, and the Russians have actually said this. They think the Ukrainians are confused Russians. They're actually Russians who are deluded into thinking they're an ethnicity, but they're really not. I mean, just like obnoxious stuff here. And the problem is Putin's coming back for more. And exactly what DJ B just said. He wants the USSR back. The Russians are not happy that they lost the USSR. The Soviet Union was pretty much run by the Russians. It was a horrific dictatorship, a hegemonic global dictatorship. And they held more or less 14 other countries hostage. As part of the Soviet Union, was a conglomeration of a union of 15 countries, but it was really one country, Russia, oppressing everybody else and holding everybody else hostage. Well, thank you, Pedro. Not surprisingly, when the Soviet Union fell apart in 1991, the hostages decided they didn't want to be there anymore, and they all went independent. A number of them joined NATO, as you do when you're a hostage and you flee the hostage taker. You go run to the police and say, oh my God, protect me, right? So a number of them joined NATO, Poland. Well, actually, different issue here. You've got Latvia, Lithuania, Estonia that joined NATO. They were part of the USSR. And then you've got the Warsaw Pact, which was basically the hostages that Russia took in Europe. They took half of Europe hostage and installed these horrific dictatorships. That was Poland, Czechoslovakia, which now is two countries, both members of NATO. Poland's a member of NATO. Bulgaria, Romania, Hungary, which should know better than electing somebody like the current guy in charge, who's basically a wannabe Soviet dictator. But nonetheless, Putin wants to reconstitute that. He wants their sphere of influence back. He wants the countries back that were part of the Soviet Union, and he's going to come back and take Ukraine again. And this is I think you've got to have the war settled if we're going to have Ukraine join NATO. NATO has to sort of prove itself as a democracy. I mean, like all of these things, I agree, right? If they're going to join NATO, they've got to sort of be a good, stable European country. But if Ukraine doesn't join NATO, we're going to be back here all over again. All over again. The Russians are going to reinvade in 5 to 10 years, and we're going to be dealing with another war. So kind of pisses me off. We're talking about Biden saying that, that he would not agree to Ukraine joining NATO as part of a peace deal. Anyway. All right. Next up. Kind of dark news today. Norway's chief of defense, this is according to Bloomberg, says that the NATO alliance has a window of 2 to 3 years to prepare before Russia has rebuilt the ability to carry out a conventional attack. Let me look here a little bit more. He says, at one point, someone said it'll take 10 years for the Russians to reconstitute their military to threaten NATO. But I think we're back to less than 10 years because of the industrial base that is now running in Russia, said General Eirik Kristofferson in Oslo. It will take some time, which gives us a window now for the next 2 to 3 years to rebuild our forces, to rebuild our stocks at the same times as we are supporting Ukraine. This is consistent, more or less, with what other defense experts have been saying in Europe. They've been giving a window of between 3 years and 10 years. Some, I think, may have said as many as 20, that we need to worry about the Russians. I mean, worry about the Russians for the long term, but the point is worry about the Russians possibly starting a war with Europe, with the rest of Europe. That the idea is they'll rebuild their military after Ukraine. Eventually, they will settle the war in Ukraine, whether they leave, which I doubt, whether they just hold on to the land they've got and stop fighting or whatever. And then they're going to go after Poland. They're going to go after Estonia. I was reading an interesting article today, actually very good article in The Atlantic about this. Thank you, Kronos. The Atlantic Monthly, now called The Atlantic, very good American publication, politics and other things. And there's an excellent new article. Actually, the Europeans should look at it too. It's an excellent new article by McKay Coppins, Coppins, about the Europeans freaking out about Trump getting reelected. Understandably, because Trump could very well leave NATO. He said he wants to leave NATO. And Trump and his people couldn't care less about NATO. They couldn't care less about America's allies. They are big fans of the Russians, and they don't care about America and our allies and our security. Coppins, Coppins. It's an excellent article. One point in the article was very interesting. I was not familiar with and I'm forgetting the name of the town. Some of you from Estonia can help me. Maybe the other Baltic folks. There is a town in eastern Estonia that is pretty much on the Russian border. Most of the people speak Russian. It is a small town on the Russian border. Most of the people speak Russian. It may start with an E, like Evron or something. I'm forgetting the name now. Oh, thank you, Poppy. Oh, that's very cool, Poppy. I don't think I've seen that one before. Very cool off-road. Thank you. Narva. It is Narva. Red Duke is correct. I don't know why I'm thinking it started with an E. It's Narva. Yep. Thank you for that, Poppy, again. The town of Narva in eastern Estonia is Russian-speaking, very Russian-speaking. And you've got people there who speak Russian and believe they're Estonian, and you've got people who speak Russian and they're not learning a lick of Estonian. Thank you, Maggie. They're happy to be Russian. They follow all the Russian news. They watch all the Russian propaganda, and pretty much their heart is with Russia. Thank you, Martin. The concern is that Putin invades. He invades and takes this town. And he uses the same bullshit excuse he used for Ukraine, where he says, oh, we've got Russian speakers. Frankly, it's the same excuse that the Germans used in World War II. Oh, we've got Russian speakers. We've got German speakers across the border. They're our countrymen. We must invade and save them. Putin used this BS to justify invading Ukraine, lying and claiming the Ukrainians were oppressing the Russian speakers. Total bullshit. My friend Vlad, who comes on the show a lot, he's a Russian speaker from Eastern Ukraine. I mean, nothing could be more. You know who's hurting and killing the Russian speakers in Ukraine? The Russians. They've been bombing the hell. Kharkiv, Ukraine, where the Russians have been bombing the hell out of nonstop and killing civilians from the beginning of the war, is Russian-speaking Ukraine. It is the heart. I mean, it's probably the capital of Russian-speaking Ukraine is Kharkiv, where the Russians have been repeatedly targeting civilians and killing men, women, and children. So in any case, but very interesting, because what the article was saying was this town of Narva in Estonia, that's Russian speaking. The Russians could use that as an excuse to invade and take the town, to save the town, and then stop. They grab the town and they say, okay, all done. And then what does NATO do? Does NATO go to war with Russia and risk a nuclear war over one town in Estonia? Even more importantly, does America? Does Donald Trump? Is Donald Trump really? I mean, I'm not even sure Joe Biden would, let alone Donald Trump, right? Over one town in Estonia. So all of a sudden, all Putin has to do is take the one town, and he has now negated the entire existence of NATO. Because decent chance, I mean, with Trump, certainly a decent chance that NATO doesn't do anything or doesn't do much. Oh, they sanction the Russians, whatever they do, right? I mean, anyway, very scary article, very interesting article. Any case, check it out if you can. It's in the Atlantic. You might be able to get a free look at it if you can. It's a subscription, but usually you can read like several things for free. Anyway. All right. Is the stream losing? What do you mean it's losing? Is the stream being bad again today or what? Sorry, I know TikTok, I know it's fine. YouTube, is the stream being bad? It shouldn't be. Just checking. You guys are always a couple seconds behind when I'm speaking, though. I see Eve talking. Is anybody else having problems with the stream on YouTube, or is it fine? On my end, it looks fine. That is a Duluth, Michigan mug. One of you guys, I don't know if she's here anymore. One of you guys had sent me a Duluth, Michigan mug, and it's really cute. And it's actually this like super thick mug. It's really, it's quite the mug, but it's nice. It's a really nice mug. Okay, good. The video is okay on TikTok. On YouTube. That's good. Thank you. Thank you, Japanese. Oh, Japanese. I'm going to guess that's Japanese and not Chinese. Am I right? Could be Chinese, though. I think it's Japanese. I don't really know the difference. The person with the pig who just sent me the gift, is that Japanese or Chinese? I'm going to go for Japanese. Help me out here. Yes, mugging for the camera. Exactly. All right. I'm sorry. I'm just looking here on TikTok to see which language that is. Anybody want to help me? The person with the pig in their profile. Korean? No. It's Chinese. Okay. It's not Korean. Although I guess, okay, it's Chinese. I have a hard time sometimes with that. It looks Chinese, but I was thinking, yeah, it confuses me. Okay. Well, thank you for that. Thank you for the gift. Hey, Christine, thank you for the hearts. All right, guys, let me keep going here. Ukraine. Oh, so a little more on Ukraine firing the first American weapons into Russia that we know of. Thank you, Pig Person, for more gifts, and thank you, Pam Pam. Ukraine has fired American HIMARS weapons into Russia. Thank you, I Am Earth, for the gift. A little bit more here from the Telegraph. Ukrainian troops have used U.S.-supplied HIMARS missiles to destroy an advanced air defense system inside Russia, as the Kremlin warned Washington it could suffer fatal consequences for backing the cross-border attacks. Several missiles are understood to have hit an air defense installation in the Russian city of Belgorod, that's across from Kharkiv in the northeast, that was equipped with S-300, 400 surface-to-air missiles. That's a big deal. The S-400 especially is a very good, expensive system that the Russians don't like losing. Photos of the aftermath of the attack, which is believed to have happened on Sunday, show vehicles on fire and billowing out smoke. So, yay. Reuters, the German army intends to order an additional 200,000 more artillery shells from arms maker Rheinmetall. Let me see here. The new shells are meant to refill German army depots that have been supplying Ukraine. So basically the new shells aren't for Ukraine, but they're to refill the German supplies as the Germans give supplies to Ukraine. So it still helps Ukraine in that sense. Thank you, Adventures. New York Times. Oh, this was obnoxious. So someone, and again, it's presumed it's the Russian government, big surprise. And I sort of give you these stories because I think it's important to see just how the Russian government behaves and how sort of uncivilized many of their actions are. It's not normal, guys. We are not dealing with I don't even know what to call it. They're rational. Like they know they're not crazy. They're not going to use nukes, but we're not dealing with mature people here. Listen to this. So New York Times, with its athletes barred from competing in the Summer Olympics under the country's flag, Russia's athletes are not able to compete in the Summer Olympics under the flag of Russia because of the invasion of Ukraine and all of that. Russia has turned its fury on the games and this year's host, Paris. Thank you. Oh, Sakenas, nice name. Rose and sunglasses. Sakenas Edvinas. I'm going to guess you're Baltic, and with a name like that, maybe Lithuanian, although I don't know your guys' names very well, but I'm going to guess Baltic. Thank you, Macab, for the hearts. And thank you. Who is this? Oh, thank you, Jen, for the paper crane. So, well, tell me which it is. I don't know which it is. Is it Estonian? I saw the is and was thinking Lithuanian. Hey, Florida from Sweden. So the Russian Lithuanian. Oh, it is Lithuanian. There you go. See, good guess. Good guess by me. Only because like I know a lot of your names end in is, but with is, because we often think it's Greek. Like my name's Aravosis and Greek, but we often see Lithuanian names and think they're Greek. So even with an AS, it made me think maybe you were Lithuanian. All right. So New York Times. So the Russians are pissed off that they were barred from competing as Team Russia. Their individual athletes can compete. Thank you, Eolina. But they can't compete as Team Russia. Name doesn't mean anything. We don't know what the name. We don't know where the name really comes from. Our name is only our family, which is kind of interesting actually, as family names go, because there's so many names that of people that like everyone's got. Literally, only my family has my last name in the entire world. There are no other people with my last name, which, like I said, is kind of cool actually. I don't know of too many names like that. In any case, back to this. So Russian propagandists have created an hour-long documentary spoofing news reports and even mimicking French and American intelligence agencies to issue fake warnings urging people to avoid the Summer Olympic Games in Paris. According to a report released on Sunday by Microsoft, the report details the disinformation campaign created by a group called Storm 1679. The campaign appears to have accelerated since March, flooding social media with short videos raising alarms about possible terrorist attacks and stoking fears about safety. They're basically trying to falsely convince people that there's going to be massive terrorist attacks at the Summer Olympics, so nobody should go. Now, they're pretty sure, hey, I see what you're getting here. Hey, get in here, Sasha. Get in here. She's trying to eat sticks again. She's like sitting there going, what? Like, it was like, what, me? The no dirt this time sticks. They're trying to basically, it's a Russian group, they know. They don't know whether it's Russian government sponsored. They don't know whether it is basically some Russian hackers doing it on their own. I think there's a pretty good chance it's Russian government sponsored because let's face it, but they're basically creating fake videos. They did one that apparently was like a fake Tom Cruise video, and they're doing fake videos to convince people that the Olympics are going to be dangerous. It's, again, as I always say, it's something a 13-year-old boy would do in a fit of anger, right? It's just the most ridiculous stuff these guys do. Anyway, thank you, Liv, for the paper crane. So South Korea, my last story, I don't have a lot of news today. The last story, yes, the casket thing too. The Russians also dropped off caskets in front of the Eiffel Tower a few days ago with some signs inside of them that said, French troops in Ukraine, because they're trying to say, like, if you send your troops to Ukraine, we're going to kill them. And they dropped caskets outside the Eiffel Tower because, again, the Russian government is a 13-year-old teenager boy. So the last story is very weird about South Korea. There was a story yesterday of the North Koreans. And the North Koreans, by the way, are crazy. The Russians are not crazy. The Russians are childish. Absolutely. The Russian government, totally childish, but they're not crazy. The North Korean government, crazy. The North Korean government sent thousands of bags of garbage and feces into the air with hot air balloons and to have them drift over South Korea and just drop garbage and feces over South Korea. I mean, why? I mean, absolutely, like, why, right? It makes no sense at all. I mean, none of it makes any sense. The North Koreans basically had it with, I give credit to the North Koreans. The North Koreans have had it with the South Korean, the South Koreans have had it with the North Koreans doing this kind of stuff. And they just announced that they're resuming drills along the border with North Korea. The drills were suspended 6 years ago with a pact with the North, pausing the actions basically as a sort of a show of trust between the two nations or the two areas, one nation in a way, I guess. But as a show of trust, the North Koreans stopped doing military drills near the border. They're starting to drill again because of this stuff. But I mean, what kind of like crazy stuff is this? Like, who would do? I mean, they're really crazy. I mean, it's really crazy, the stuff from North Korea. I mean, North Korea is the one to really watch. I mean, the Russians are dangerous, but this kind of stuff is just crazy. In any case, so that is it. There isn't a ton of news today. I mean, we're going to talk now. Well, this is our open chat part of it. We're going to go for about another half hour because, as I said, I've got to go. I'm going to go on the evening news here in D.C., the local news, to talk about a thief we got thrown in prison that a bunch of neighbors and I got together and basically sleuthed him out and crowdsourced who the guy was. And he's going to jail for 7.5 years now. Huh. So we're doing a little local news interview about like citizens can get together and make a difference kind of thing. So, and to thank the police and the U.S. attorney because they did the right thing, which is good. Anyway, make sure to check out the auctions. I won't do a big auction push tonight. The auctions go through Friday, but remember, we've got a lot of cool auction things, including the very cool Russian warship Go F Yourself coffee mug. Thank you, Chazak. And thank you, Honora Whitaker. We've got cool stuff we auction off on Discord that basically goes to help Ukraine. Half of the money I raise, I send back to Ukraine. Half of the money goes to support me because I do this full time. And you can find our Discord community via the link in my profile on TikTok. Look at the Linktree link, click it. And the first option that comes up is Discord, click it. For you guys on YouTube, go to the description of the show, look for the Linktree link, click it. And the first thing that comes up is Discord. Then once you get to Discord, click all the buttons to prove you're not a bot, and then look for the auctions. But I will just show you this one. Very cool. It is the Moskva, the ship that the Ukrainians sank the 6th week of the war. It is the same ship as it was the huge Russian warship, the pride of the Russian fleet, their flagship. And it's the same ship that the Russians tried to take over Snake Island in Ukraine the first day of the war. And they told the Ukrainians on the island, this is the Russian warship. Surrender or we will kill you. And the Ukrainians responded, and they've got the audio. The Ukrainians responded, Russian warship, in Russian warship, go F yourself. But in Russian, what is it? Ruski vojny, koral, itsi nahui. Which I can say, TikTok may not get mad about that in Ukrainian or in Russian, but it became a super famous thing. But I love this coffee mug made in Ukraine ceramics, it says on the bottom. But this one's really neat. We're just auctioning it off, so it's going to go for whatever people pay, Flavia. It's the only one I've got, but this is probably the nicest mug we've had so far. I mean, the other mugs were very pretty, but I think this is the coolest one. And I like that it's got the Russian, but the Ukrainian, sort of slogan, but very nice. Lots of other auction items. Go check them out. I won't sort of show you all of them now, but we've got a lot of really cool stuff. So I'll show you more tomorrow since the auctions go until Friday. Anyway, so the new station should be local Fox, Amanda, that I'm going to be on. I think it's Fox. The local Fox is normal. Daily Show. What's on the Daily Show, Magical? What was on last night? Exactly. Beep, 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 beep. It should be online. I assume it'll be online. Usually those things pop up online. They usually have clips. If I find it, otherwise there's no way for me to, I mean, I could post it on our Discord. There's nowhere else for me to really post it. But it should be online. The highest bid for the mug, I don't even know. It's over on Discord. I don't have it in front of me now. I think the mug might be up to $50 by now. I don't know. Because again, it's charity. You're helping me out because I do this full time. So by bidding, you're helping support my work. Thank you, Bryce. But also you're supporting the Ukrainians because half of the money, half of every winning bid I send back to Ukraine. And we've been doing it since the beginning. Probably sent, I don't know, 15,000, maybe 20,000 back. I mean, we've raised like 200,000 or no, over 100,000 we've raised. Was it 200? I could actually look at the amount of money we raised, over 100,000. Thank you, Bryce. Thank you, Ginger. Thank you, Eva. But let me look. I will tell you what the coffee mug is going for. Coffee mug is going for $42. Chazak is in the lead. Also got a really cool little Ukrainian sort of hot plate, a puzzle, so kind of a puzzle, a Singapore fridge magnet. We've got some trench art, actually. I'm not going to show you the trench art because TikTok may get mad, but it's I believe it's a Russian bullet. I don't think it's a Ukrainian bullet, but it's a Russian machine gun bullet from Ukraine. Thank you, Hannah, that the Ukrainians took and painted. We've got this Ukrainian artist we know, this woman, and she painted it in the traditional Ukrainian style. So it's kind of neat because it's, sort of taking the war. It's called trench art. A really cool tabletop thing that Jeffrey's got the high bid on. That's a table runner, a knit sort of piece from Ukraine that goes on top of the table, a dinner table, put flowers on, that Vlad got in southwestern Ukraine. That's a really neat piece. The Baby Yoda shirt. Okay, I will show you the Baby Yoda shirt because that's my other fave. My other fave, and I will stop showing auction items after this, but my other fave is, and I think this is pretty cool. Vlad got this in Ukraine. This was a fundraiser being done by the Ukrainian military, actually. He said, no, it was done by a group set up by the Ukrainian military. And it's Baby Yoda, Grogu, but he's wearing like a Ukrainian military outfit with the Ukrainian trident pin or the patch. I think that's the coolest t-shirt. It's a size medium. Thank you, Bob, for the gift. It's a size medium, which I tried on and fit me really well, which is between a medium and a large. Yes, you can come on quickly, Yulia. Yep, I was telling people I've got to jump off at 7:00, like sharp, because I've got a local interview I've got to do. We threw a criminal in jail, so a bunch of us in the community. So, but yeah, why don't you come on for like 10 minutes or something? Come on, I'll have you come right now if you got an update. Yulia's one of our Ukrainian friends in Ukraine, and often has interesting updates of what's going on. And I'm trying to see where you are, or maybe there you are. Okay, boom. Oh, or do I have to accept? Oh no, it should be. Oop. Okay, there we go. Hold on. I'm unplugging you so people can hear you. Okay.
I'm going to, I might be a little spotty because I have to choose between my lamp and my TV and my Wi-Fi and working because I have an EchoFlow. So Russians have been hitting lots of critical infrastructure. And for instance, in Kyiv, our blackouts in the past couple of days have been getting worse and worse. So for instance, if 3 days ago, I would have like electricity for 8 hours of the day or like 10 hours of the day, and the rest of it would be gone overnight. For instance, today, I did not have electricity starting at 12 p.m. till 9 p.m. And then I had electricity from 9 p.m. to 11:45 p.m. And then it was gone again. And before that, during the night, I also did not have electricity. And there is also a house-size generator powering a fish store, a fish supermarket outside of my window. So if I open the window to make my room less of a hellscape of a summer house, right. All I keep hearing is this gas generator that's the size of a house. And I'm assuming that most people have never seen this nifty little 1-second thing. So this,
That's right.
is an EchoFlow. And an EcoFlow is basically a massive power bank. Mine is at 62%.
Oh, it's like a big battery you charge and you keep it as backup power?
Yeah. So, as you can see, my extension cord right now is plugged in.
Right.
And I'm just watching some TV before bed.
Oh, wow.
Because I've been working all day today with this thing under my desk.
I'm impressed that it's that big of a battery.
Charges. Yeah, and then
wow.
Basically this, I transfer that over to the dark side over here, because here is my router, and I have to choose whether I plug this in or the rest of the stuff in my apartment, because it's very far away from each other.
Sorry, so I'm writing back to somebody on TikTok.
This thing also makes noise.
Wow. Well, that sucks. Yeah, that's. I mean, bad news to hear that the Russian attacks are having an impact in terms of power.
Yeah.
Again.
So that's kind of where we're at. But, you know, I got 3 plants today. I don't have anywhere anymore to put plants. I know this is useless information, but I had such a shit day.
Right. Okay.
I was walking by a plant store, and I was like, you know what?
I need plants.
I already live in a greenhouse.
No, yeah, but that's good though. Sorry. Well, yeah. At least I was just with you some of the news. The Ukrainians used a HIMARS to blow up a Russian S-300, S-400 facility. That was pretty freaking good. S-400 especially, because that's like the good stuff, as I recall.
Have you seen the video from Belgorod? I will try to send it to you when I find it on Twitter again, but it's a Russian couple in the morning. Thank you. They filmed this thing where they're like, oh my gosh, we were walking by and we saw like a drone and a missile and they collided and there was like this huge boom that was terrifying. And this man is like filming himself and his wife, and they're like freaking out. Then the next video is like, while we were trying to post the video that we just filmed, we just saw other things blowing up outside of our apartment. This is awful. 5 hours later, these people upload a video of them packing up their apartment and leaving
to leave.
Belgorod
Good.
For another city.
Good. Welcome to Ukraine. Yeah.
But also, like, it was less than a day, and these people left at like 1 a.m, and they're just like, "We're leaving." You know, we decided, we had a family symposium. We talked to each other, and we decided it's no longer safe to live here, so we're leaving. And I'm like.
I mean, good, but good though. Good. Bring it home, you know?
But also, you know what? Wusses. You know,
of course, yeah.
Things exploding outside of my apartment.
Hang on a second. It's expired. I'm just trying to write something because people are mentioning. I did see your guys mention that the Discord link may be expired. I'm asking Syndicate, our tech guy, our tech volunteer, if he's got a suggestion, because the link was working for me. I don't know. A couple of the rest of you, go to my link in my profile on TikTok, click the Linktree link, click Discord, and see if it works for you, if it's just happening to the one person or not.
You know, sometimes they expire. So I had my link for my Discord on YouTube, and it was fine until everybody started saying that it doesn't lead them to Discord anymore. So I think maybe they change it once in a while for like security.
I'm wondering, which is, you know what it reminds me of? It reminds me of my poor mother, where every time she tries to sign in on some app, you know, the Wall Street Journal or whatever, I buy her subscriptions. Every couple of weeks, they make her put in her fucking password again. And I'm like, the woman's 94 years old. Could you just leave her alone? These things are designed for us. And even for us, it's a pain in the ass. But for somebody in their 90s, they're like going, okay, why isn't it working? What do I do now? You know, it's just it's annoying. Anyway. But yes, I just asked Syndicate. He's very good about that. So he'll hopefully tell us what to do. Because I always get confused as to the...
Jason says that it's 60 days for the link.
Although I thought I used my basic link. I thought I just used my basic, you know, discord.com or whatever, discord.dd or whatever the hell it is, /Aravosis. I don't think it's a very complicated link. Working for you. Okay, it's working for a number of people. That's what I thought. For me, it was working. That's why I don't know why it's not working for you, Illegal.
Very strange.
Yeah, I can still try to upload it. Don't know. Actually, YouTube, why don't you guys try too? YouTube folks, it's in the description of my show today. The Linktree link. Click it and see if the Discord link is working. Anyway.
Someone really wants you to not put Swedish fish in the fridge, and also really wants you to try skeleton licorice candy.
Yes, Ava Wahlberg, who's with us today, sent me 1.7 kilos of candy from Sweden. I was like, Ava, and it's very good, but I'm having like a few every day and doing a video, but even that's more than I should be eating, because like I finally am back to the weight I wanted to be after like 5 years. So after COVID, so I'm occasionally, but people are loving the video, so I'm like, I will occasionally do a video trying some more Swedish candy, but I'm trying to be good because like I just don't eat candy. I mean, I love candy, but I don't eat that much candy.
Yeah,
So yes.
Oh
No.
Either. I just recently I went to a street food fair in Kyiv, and we have this like a Ukrainian candy. It's called nuts. They're not nuts,
Right.
But they just look like a big Greek nut, sort of.
Huh. Okay.
And they have like caramel inside. But there is this company called Kyiv Nuts, and they make them flavored. And my friend Wikipedia, who's also an Azov defender,
right,
former Azov defender, he lives down the street from me.
Right.
And his favorite thing in the world is the nuts. I mean,
right.
Take it any way you want.
Yeah.
And so I saw those flavored ones and I bought them for him, but he's been unavailable for the past like 4 days, so 3 of them are gone out of 8.
Right.
And I'm like, dude, every day that you're not here,
but you're eating. No,
well,
see, my danger is chocolate, because again, Ava sent me a lot of sweets, which I was, if my mom were around, I mean, mom's in Chicago. If my mom were here, I'm in Washington, she'd be in trouble, because mom has this, I say European taste. It's Greek. The Greeks like sugary candies. Like mom likes jujubes, jelly beans, like sugar candies, that are different colors. I like chocolate. That's my love. So a lot of Ava's stuff is sugar, which I'm doing, but the chocolate she sent me is what I'm really looking forward to, because that's my, yes.
I am so I'm so partial. Sorry, I'm so partial or impartial. Why am I forgetting? Like, I don't like chocolate. Partial, I think. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't. Partial means, I'm partial to.
Yeah.
You'd say I'm partial to sugary sweets. Yeah. Okay, yeah. I'm not partial to chocolate. I guess you could say that. I would know if I'm not a big fan of chocolate. Probably is easier to just say.
Yeah. But I was just like wondering, because I'm impartial means I like it. Like,
it's not but impartial wouldn't be, impartial doesn't mean you like it. Impartial means literally you're not biased.
Yeah, but sometimes people like, I don't know. Anyways.
But you'd say I'm partial to. Like, I'm kind of partial to chocolate. You meaning I do kind of like it, but you're hedging a little. But you're, yeah.
It's sort of like I will eat it if like,
wow.
Like I can eat it. It's not that I hate it.
Right.
But it's like I would never seek it out.
See, but that may be the European side of you, I think. I don't think you guys, like that whole continent of you, I think there's a little less love of chocolate. Even though you have good chocolate, there's a little less love of chocolate than we have here, I think. I blame it on mom being Greek.
I mean, I also don't necessarily like candy in general. Like, again, I'll eat it, but I won't seek it out. But there are a couple of flavors of ice cream that you can't bring anywhere near me, because that's dangerous.
Yeah, I was never a big ice cream fan, and all of a sudden, like a couple of years ago, I started doing the Ben and Jerry's chocolate fudge brownie, and and again, I don't eat that anymore either, because I'm like, because I'll start eating the damn thing and I can't stop, And they're crazy expensive, but on sale they're $3, and for $3 for a Ben and Jerry's, that's not bad,
I stopped eating ice cream because my favorite flavor is mint chocolate chip. And all of the mint chocolate chip, and there was like one brand that I liked, and then they changed their ingredients and it wasn't as good anymore. And the only like great place that makes really good like mint chocolate chip that tastes like mint, not like chemicals, is Morgenstern's, and that's an actual ice cream shop in Lower East Side that I have to go to, which I'm never gonna do.
Right.
And then I moved here, and there's a freaking store on the corner from my apartment, and they make in-house mint chocolate chip, and it is literally better than Morgenstern's in New York, and it's right across the freaking street.
I stopped. Actually, what really got me to stop eating ice cream, I almost bought an ice cream machine. I've been wanting to. This friend of mine, David Leibovitz, is this big chef, American chef who now lives living in Paris, does a lot of books about dessert, a very big writer, very great guy. And David's done a lot of famous books about making ice cream and all this kind of stuff. And David has an ice cream maker he likes, and they sell it on Amazon, and it's anywhere between 175 to like 250 depending when you buy it. And I kept looking at it. It finally went down to 175 bucks, and I almost bought it. And then I Googled the freaking ice cream recipes, and I don't know why it didn't completely register to me that ice cream is pretty much frozen cream. I thought it was cream and milk and this and that, eggs. I didn't think it was like cream. It's literally freaking cream. And I'm like, I don't want to eat cream. Like a cup of cream.
Sorbetto is water, gelato is water and cream.
That's a little
water and
better.
Milk. Ice cream
Yeah.
is like milk, and then American ice cream, like the creamery, is cream.
Right.
And I cannot, like, people love creameries in the US.
Right.
To me, it's like a bowl of like sugary. Too much. I
mean, Ben and Jerry's is pretty freaking creamy. I love it, but it's just like, just put the pounds on me,
Jerry's does not support Ukraine. They've called.
Oh, I know. He's an idiot. Oh, I know. Yeah, they're idiots. They're idiots. Ben and Jerry's is basically the far left American, the American far left that was pro-Soviet is pretty much what Ben and Jerry's is.
Yeah, they're
basically
like fans of. They're like Leninist.
Yeah,
they're literally Lenin little fanboys.
Yes. And they're basically, in the 1960s and 70s, they were probably all pro-Russia and pro-Soviet. And then it wasn't cool anymore to admit it. But now that it's come back up, we had this with Christina Vanden Heuvel, who's a big, she runs The Nation, big publication in New York, not a big publication, but a big liberal publication, right? They're not big nationwide, but they're kind of big in liberal circles. And she is an old-time liberal who basically is in Russia's pocket. I mean, we were boycotting the Russians like vodka and all this stuff because of all the anti-gay stuff. The Russians, I mean, they're horrible on gay stuff. They were kidnapping gay people and trans people and all this horrible shit like 10 years ago. We started boycotting them. And she freaking came out and defended them. I mean, she came out and wrote an article defending the fucking Russians and opposing our boycott, the gay and trans people. And it was a national gay rights boycott. And this woman who claims to be more liberal than thou comes out and sides with the freaking Putin. And it was like, oh, we've got your number, lady. Absolutely.
It's the horseshoe theory. Like at some point, point. I mean, I despise both the far left and the far right. I mean, both are crazy, honestly. At this point, like the far right are fascists and the far left are communists who don't want to admit they're communists. Also, a lot of people are saying Ben and Jerry's aren't involved in the company anymore. They sold their name to Unilever.
Right.
Yes, and Unilever spoke out against, but Ben and Jerry's has a clause where their principles still stand, and Ben and Jerry's advocated for peace. Like the
interesting. Okay. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. I'm getting a bad case of heartburn, which I think is because I'm having all of this. I think it's probably the sweet. Ava, I'm blaming you and the Swedish candy. Julia, keep giving a little bit of an update while I go and get a little lozenge. Give an update on what else has been happening with Ukraine the last couple of days for you guys. And speak up so YouTube can hear you.
Zelensky was speaking at like a pre-peace summit. We were trying to build relationships with more of the Asian countries, because where we really failed our policy and politics and outreach is the African continent and many places in Asia. And it's very evident by how much closer their relationship is with Russia. There is going to be there is a first semblance of progress. There is going to be a Ukrainian embassy opened in Manila, Philippines, and there is also going to be an embassy in Kyiv for the Philippines, which is really cool. How bad have the storms been there today? So actually they haven't been bad. So yesterday and the day before, it's been it was hailing at some point. It was legitimately hailing at some point, which was wild. And it was sort of like, it wasn't raining for an hour, then it was raining for half an hour, it wasn't raining for an hour, it was raining for half an hour, and it was all like these sort of downpours. Today it was mostly nice outside. I don't think it rained once, but yesterday and the day before it was just raining all the time intermittently, and it was awful.
I have my Alka-Seltzer bubbling in my Ukraine mug. This is the mug that somebody's 13-year-old daughter designed in class at either high school or junior high. She did the design herself, and then they made the mug. Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
I told her, and everyone saw it, and they were like, "I want to buy them." And I kept telling her, I said, "Tell your daughter she's got a business."
Yeah, actually.
Yeah, it's very cute.
Someone's asking if I'm drinking a White Claw. No, it's a kombucha.
Kombucha.
I don't drink.
I mean, are Ukrainians feeling? I have this feeling like the last week, maybe the U.S. finally and Europe finally letting you guys use our weapons to fight back. I feel like things are a little better in the last week, or am I wrong?
Yeah, I can certainly see a lot less tension even among like Ukrainian society on Twitter, which shouldn't be an indicator, but like to be fair, it is, because whenever anyone is like feeling like they want to start a fight somewhere, they go on Twitter, and I feel like there has been a lot less like infighting within Ukrainian society, because I think with the latest updates in the past month in general, people were able to breathe out a little bit. But we are getting very tired of the blackouts, and they're getting worse. Supposedly, like tomorrow, the situation is going to be really bad too, and the day after as well. So I'm expecting like a maximum of 4 hours of electricity for the day.
Right.
Yeah, which I also like I didn't realize that. I thought that because it was gone all day, it would just come back up, and that would be it. But no, it came back.
How long does it take to charge your battery? How long does it take to charge that backup battery have you got?
An hour and a half.
Oh, that's pretty good. Oh, that's pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's not bad, and it lasts quite a while. But yeah, I'm just like I'm not looking forward to it, especially because like they turn the electricity off in like busy hours, and they turn it on in like random hours when no one's using it.
Right.
And so it's like I can't take a shower. I bought like a lamp that I could just like haul with me around my apartment.
Right.
Like a floor lamp, because my bathroom is pitch black.
Oh, right. Yeah. Well, Vlad, I mean, I remember when this was happening a year and a half ago. Back then, Vlad even showed me the sheet, and they had like some very complicated schedule of who got power when, and there were I think you got a maximum of 8 hours a day, and one was a chunk of 4, and the other was separated, and it was depending on the day, whether you got it during the day, or a lot of times it was, 4 to 8 in the morning or something crazy. But are you not?
I mean, they changed it now. I don't know how it is in other cities, but in Kyiv, for instance, where I'm from, we have this app. It's called Kyiv Digital, and like you can pay parking tickets and all this stuff in this app. It's like a one-stop shop for everything you need to do.
Right.
You can pay your like electric and like whatever. So they have the DTEK, like portal in there, and so you can put in your address, and it'll show you all of your electricity turnoffs, and it'll also notify you when the light is like going off and when it's coming back.
Okay, so you at least do have a schedule if you look it up. If you have power to look it up,
Yeah, but some days, like when things are better, they won't turn it off, and you are kind of planning on it being turned off, so you're doing things in that like little chunk of time.
Right.
And then it's not that I'm complaining, but then like it doesn't go off.
Yeah.
And you never know when it's actually going to go off and when it isn't. So you have to follow their CEO or like whatever on Twitter, and he gives you updates. On when they're actually going to do it and when they're not, and you're just like, is this a joke?
Yeah, see, sleeping at night would be hard. I mean, I've had that in Chicago. Chicago gets a lot of power outages during storms and things because the lines are above ground, and I've had that a few times visiting my mom, where the power is out for a few days, and sleeping at night was the worst, because it's pitch quiet, which is a little weird, but it's hotter than hell, and you have no fan because there's no power. That's bad.
That's like the thing that's driving me crazy. So I used to not. Okay, this is like the most I've been in America for 13 years thing. Like, people in Europe can temperature adjust their bodies because they're not used to sleeping with ACs.
Right.
I used to be like that. Okay, I used to be like that. I also still give shit to my American friends who just run the AC all day long, like, and don't turn it off, because I cool it down, turn it off, and then cool it down again, right? But anyways, I cannot sleep if it's hot.
Yeah.
I need an AC.
Yeah.
And I literally can't thermoregulate anymore because I just lay there and I feel like
I mean, fans are good. Using a fan on you is a lot better. I mean, just a fan blowing on you helps.
Yeah, well, I need to acquire that.
No, but you do, though, because that, at least for me, the fan, again, I got to have an AC on, but at least a fan cools me down to a degree, But you have a cat there, or what do you have?
Well, it's my dog. And
I didn't know you had a dog. Oh, I'm forgetting you had a dog. Oh, look at him. He's just upside. Is he upside down?
Yeah.
I vaguely remember the dog from New York. Name, what is it?
Her name is Cindy.
Is it a Frenchie, or what is she?
And she's a Frenchie.
Oh,
and
so funny.
The hotter it gets, for some reason, the more she wants to touch me.
Here,
and she's like a walking little.
I'll show you guys really quick. Oh, you're seeing my computer too. The dog is upside down on the bed there. Very cute. Very cute. Oops. All right. Yes, I have my mic unplugged so we actually can hear Yulia, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to hear her. So on TikTok at least you're getting my mic, my public mic. Anyway, all right, I'm going to go in a minute anyway, because I was telling folks we put our little criminal in jail, so I'm going to go do an interview with local Fox 5 about it. Some little porch pirate, but the guy was like stealing from everybody, but like really scary, sneaking into our building at 11 o'clock at night and crap, and going upstairs and downstairs, and I mean, following women in, and we got his ass thrown in jail for 7.5 years. Bunch of us got together, crowdsourced the videos of him coming into our buildings, and got all the crimes together. 7.5 freaking years. So, yes.
That's actually awesome.
Yeah. So anyway.
Porch pirates said nothing happened to them because New York City.
And even in DC, they're like, but he also broke in the back door of our building. I mean, he broke the back door in at 2 a.m. I mean, this is like shit that's a little, and he has several felonies, by the way, too. Well, anyway, bottom line is 7.5 freaking years because we put political pressure for them to go after the guy and not blow it off, and they did. So. Awesome. So anyway, doing a Fox interview to sort of tell people in the city, you can make a difference. Although, frankly, it helps if you've had 40 years political experience and you're a pain in the ass. You're a professional pain in the ass. But we won't tell them that.
Yeah, I do. I know what it's like to be a professional pain in the ass.
Yeah. But that's what I mean. Like, it helps if you're like us and do this stuff. But nonetheless, In any case, all right, guys. Last minute question or something. Maybe I'll let YouTube. Any last minute questions for Yulia? She is in Kyiv, Ukrainian, in the capital there. Because also it's getting late for her, but also I'm going to sign off in a minute or two. Oh, I see Gunther. Gunther says, ask Yulia what happened to her. You already asked that, Gunther. Oh, no, he's already. Oh, that's true. Is your Ukrainian gay friend still in New York? The young Ukrainian.
Yeah, he is. He's in New York.
Yep, he's still there. Okay. Yep, I occasionally see him on like Instagram. He pops up. Anything else on YouTube really quick for Yulia before she goes? I'm looking. I didn't see because I didn't ask you for questions, but she was looking at questions on TikTok, so I realized I ought to ask you guys as well. Anything? By the way, YouTube is always like half a minute behind whenever I ask questions, so we'll give them a quick half minute, and then I will say sayonara, because as I said, I've got to walk. I told them not to do it in front of the building because the building people, some of the women in the building got freaked out the last time we did an interview in front of the building. I was like, they're not going to come and like get us. But nonetheless, I was like, all right. Real quick here. Well, actually, did you see, I will ask you about this that Donald brought up. So Biden's Time magazine interview today where he says, oh, it's off the table. Ukraine joining NATO as part of a peace settlement. Did you see that?
Wait, what?
Biden today in an interview with Time magazine said that he does not support Ukraine joining NATO as part of a peace settlement with Russia. And this was not a good thing. He went on to say, we will have, we will make sure when the war is over that we give lots of weapons to Ukraine so Russia won't want to attack again. Bullshit. First of all, good fucking luck if you get the weapons, but also bullshit. There's going to be enough weapons that Russia's not going to attack. But it really pissed me off.
Of course. But at least, it's good that he's saying that they don't support, Ukraine getting into NATO as part of, a peace deal, because that's what a lot of countries have been pushing. And that's what a lot of, people say in interviews, oh, but there will have to be a resolution to it. It's Ukraine should just take a NATO membership and, a peace deal.
Well, but why would you oppose that, though? Are you afraid they're going to force you to give up territory if you join NATO, you mean, as part of the deal? Yeah. Okay. Otherwise, you're fine joining NATO, or maybe you're not. I don't know.
No, I am. I just I just oppose the whole idea of if NATO offered you a membership and you were to just surrender the territories that Russia already has, then that'd be fine.
And that, by the way, that wasn't what he was saying. He was not saying. As soon as I was explaining it, I was thinking maybe I should explain it. He was not saying, "Oh no, I don't want them to join NATO in exchange for them giving up land." He was simply unequivocally saying, "I don't want them joining NATO." It was obnoxious. Google it. You'll see the news later. It was obnoxious.
Oh, okay. I will look it up.
Yeah.
I haven't actually looked at the news today because it was one of the worst days in terms of like time and schedule and
Yep.
no electricity in a while. So
in a major intervention, the U.S. president said he did not support the NATOization of Ukraine and that peace with Moscow would involve Ukraine in partnership with the alliance rather than as a member. Peace looks like making sure Russia never occupies Ukraine, he told Time magazine. That's what peace looks like, and it doesn't mean NATO. That they're a part of NATO. It means we have a relationship with them like we do with other countries where we supply weapons so they can defend themselves in the future. Yeah, actually, the only relationship where we actually defend other countries isn't the weapons. It's the nuclear shield. It's Israel, where we've promised we will blow the crap out of you if you attack Israel. And it's Taiwan, where we've promised we'll blow the crap out of China if they attack Taiwan. South Korea, other countries, there's a couple other countries that have got that kind of relationship separately with us. But otherwise, it's not because we gave them weapons. It's because we actually consider them a special ally that we're not going to let you fuck with. And that's what, trust me, Google it. He was not being helpful to you.
No, I'm like, I
Yeah.
know, I just, that's what I thought you said.
Yeah.
But after you read that, no, he's.
You know, whatever, but this is who he is. He's Mr. Split the Baby in Half. That's who he is. You know?
He's also like a dude who's stuck. Like my problem with like most of the politicians, right, especially of his age, is that it's like these people did politics during the Iron Curtain.
Right.
Like they still see Russia like as this powerful Soviet Union.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Seven stages of acceptance for them, you know, where it's like denial, like more denial.
I see what you mean. Yeah. They're except I will say again, and I've got to go after this. Except during the Soviet years, because like I studied the Soviet Union in graduate school because I'm that old. They were still around. And, you know, you had Reagan was president at that point, and that son of a bitch didn't get rolled by the Russians. He wasn't afraid of the Russians, and people got mad that he was actually standing up to them so much. But, you know, it is not like I would say American presidents in general did not get rolled by the Russians. We did not look and go, oh my God, the Soviets are so scary. Now we are more afraid of them now than we were back then. And that's what pisses me off because they're weaker now, but also they're the same frickin' people. They're not any more irrational today than they were back then. And he wants us to think he's crazy and he's going to use nukes. He's not crazy and he's not going to use nukes.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, anyway. All right. Give a final little statement if you got one. And then I'm going to hang up with you and also say goodbye to everybody else because I got to run and go convict some guy. Celebrate his conviction, but yeah.
Thank you guys. Also, people who are asking if there is a link to follow me, you can just press literally on here, and it'll like pull up the little thing where you can go in my profile. So if you'd like to do that, you should do that. And thank you.
YouTubers, we've got the YouTubers too on YouTube. You're the same name.
Yeah, my name is the same in every social media. So if you want to find me on YouTube, it's YEWLEEA, and so everywhere else.
Okay.
Instagram, Twitter.
WLEEA. There, I'm writing it on the YouTube folks for them as well. Okay, Yulia, have a good night. Go to sleep. Everybody else, I'm going to say good night because, as I said, I've got to get rolling to go down the block and do my little interview. But I will see you guys tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Eastern Time, US. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you, mods. Blah, blah. You know the spiel. And Yulia, have a good night. All right, guys.
Bye.
I'm going to sign off. Thank you, everybody. I'll see you guys tomorrow night, okay? All right. See y'all. Bye, YouTube. Boop. All right. See you guys.